Hey guys, Rise here with another commentary on the Regent Ascension 8, and we got a good game on this one today. I will say it took an embarrassing amount of runs to get a win on Regent. On Ascension 8, I was trying some weird stuff, but yeah, none of it was working. So we're going to start this game off with the Lost Coffer, and I get immediate direction, which is kind of nice. I end up going for Black Hole. I'm like, you know what? I haven't really done a Buzzsaw Regent, so let's do it. Let's see how this works. And if you didn't know, the Black Hole icon is a little Buzzsaw for whatever reason, as you can see right there. And every time we play or a card that either gives us stars or costs stars, it does 3. And that's a pretty important distinction, honestly, because there's like Child of the Stars, which gives block every time you spend stars, but not when you gain it. And you'll actually probably see me check that a couple of times in this run where I'm like, wait a second. So anytime that we can get stars right now in a card that's productive for us, so Glow is definitely productive. It gives us some draw. The card that blocks and gives us star power, also pretty good. I'm sure we'll see that here shortly because I can't remember that. Gather Light, maybe? Something like that. 8 block and a star. That's kind of nice. I play Venerate more this game than maybe ever. And the other thing that's really important about... there's 2 things. Okay, more important stuff about the Buzzsaw here. And I just saw it here where I'm like, hey, Venerate, how come it didn't do it twice? Because it groups it. So if you get 2 star, that's gaining it once. And in my head, I'm like, oh, look, we're gonna do damage twice. No, that would probably be pretty OP. So we're not gonna take it. We get a Radiate here. We're baited with a Spectrum Shift. We're not going to take that. That has lost me more games than I can count right now. Especially in the last couple of days where I was just banging out Regent games going like, nope, that doesn't work. Nope, that doesn't work. Nope. Heirloom Hammer? Nope, terrible. At least with the higher Ascensions. Well, at least the way I was playing it. I'm sure you can make it work. And I'm sure we'll have a run where we do. But the nice thing is, though, that it's AoE. So every time that you do damage... it helps a lot because there's a couple of times where I'm looking at that astral, whatever it is, astral projection, or I don't know. We'll see that for sure. It's a common card that does AoE for 0 but 3 stars, and that can work. But we have a lot of other good star power cards that I'm like, no, we don't actually need that because Radiate also does AoE, and it doesn't do a ton all the time because again, you have to gain stars for it to do anything. But it's enough for us to get there, which is kind of nice. So anyway, there it is. It is Gather Light. Okay, we were right. I was actually debating between that and Cosmic Indifference briefly, but I'm going to stick with getting the star power. We're going to go for Grab the Sword here, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it's so early it seems likely that we'll be able to make use of it. And on the Dense Vegetation, I thought about losing some hit points, but I'm like, you know what? Let's heal. Let's stay healthy. And these guys, because I have so much AoE, shouldn't be that bad if I have a half-decent draw, which I don't. It's actually terrible. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, you know, we can probably get out of this with minimal damage. And you still get gold, and you get a card reward. So unfortunate that I couldn't kill anything here. A Vajra would have done it. I mean, a lot of stuff would have done it, but... unfortunately, it wasn't to be today. Now this time, though, we have a great turn, and we can show exactly the power of that AoE. We don't kill much, so I'm actually going to Liquid Memories to not take a ton of damage here, which is fine. I don't have... and we get a potion or backfill that anyway. I don't have a ton of elites coming up quite yet. And we get a Shining Star, which has also been reworked. It used to give you 1 star power, and now it gives you 2. Shining Strike, I should say. Gives you 2 energies, 2 star energy, and goes back on your draw pile. So you can play it quite a bit, especially paired with Glow. You can do some nice compounded damage. Immediately, I'm going to go for an upgrade of Black Hole, since that's kind of what we're doing. And I do go for an Elite, even though I said we don't have a life coming up. I do want to get that, that sword activated if possible. And I'm thinking we should be good against this guy. We're offered a Tyranny here, which is the only option that makes any sense because Sword Sage does literally nothing. And Arsenal also does, I think, literally nothing. I don't have anything that creates cards right now. But the Exhaust is surprisingly useful here because we have the infections that we're getting into our deck. Now, we use the skill pot here. I think about Bundle of Joy briefly. I have played Bundle of Joy a couple of times, but I don't think it gives you free cards. I think they all cost a regular price, so I'm not likely to be able to play them right away on that turn. So at this point, I just want to take him down as low as possible. I don't actually want to kill him this turn. I want to kill him this turn. And here you'll see why. All I have to do is get 1 star power. But actually, I think it makes more sense to play a strike here, because the star power is going to do AoE. So it seemed a little counterintuitive at first, but this is going to work out better, and it's going to allow me to play all of my cards, because the nice thing about Radiate is it's free. And this is what I was hoping the first regular fight was going to look like. Yeah, we get out easy on that one. We get a Clarity Extract, a Regalite, which gives you 2 block anytime you create a card. Unfortunately for us, that's kind of a useless relic. It may proc on occasion, but it's not what we're doing. However, we do get a Neutron Aegis, and that's amazing, especially upgraded. I'm like, you know what? I should probably just upgrade that card now. It's super good. We're not spending all of our star power right now. We've got pretty decent star generation, so we should be able to play that. And we get a game piece, which kind of goes with the Neutron Aegis. And the Neutron Aegis, even though it costs 5 star power, leaving us a lot of other energy to work with is kind of nice. We don't want to lose any of this stuff. We finally get a defend, which I will take. But everything else I wanted to keep here because it works with what we've got going. Nab the Map, probably the least fun event in Act 1 for me. We do have a double Clarity Extract going here. And we're just going to rest and get healthy again after that bridge event took a lot out of us. So yeah, very give and take on Act 1 here. The shop is pretty interesting. We get a Child of Stars option, a Particle Wall, and a Stardust. Stardust does 5 to a random enemy X times. That's pretty good if we're way over making star power. I think if we had a, not a calculate, a Royal, is it Royal Gamble? The one that gives you 5 stars after you spend 4, or vice versa, whatever it is. If I had that, I would take Stardust, but we're not like over-generating stars that much where the energy dump is going to be useless. Oh, it was Astral Pulse, by the way. That was in the shop. That was the card I was talking about earlier. Astral Pulse. Okay, you can see why I said Astral Projection, right? Okay, going up against the Bygone Effigy. Now, one thing I realized in this fight that I haven't been paying enough attention to, and I should have been paying a lot of attention to it. We're actually gonna double potion here because I'm that scared of this fight. I was hoping that I could play Neutron Aegis. It works out well not to because he doesn't attack for 2 anyway, so he would just waste 2 plated armor rounds. But yeah, the thing that I missed here for so long is he gets slow, and so that should very much affect the order in which you play cards. So we're gonna play our powers first, which is good. And then we should play our attacks last to do the most amount of damage to him, especially with vulnerable there. But again, like, I don't know what it is. I don't think as I noticed that during this fight, I realized I don't think I've been doing that. So it's very helpful though, and you'll see here, the damage just starts to scale very nicely. It only affects direct attack. It doesn't affect things like the black hole or anything. But it's, again, very important to do this. So this is a turn where I actually might have been playing it backwards, arguably, but it doesn't actually matter because we had so much stars to dump that we can kill him with the particle wall, which is awesome. That's a useful thing that may come in handy later. We're going up against the boss here. I certainly could heal. I certainly could upgrade. I think they're both fine choices. 44 is pretty healthy going up against the kin. I think he's the easiest boss. He, she, I don't know, whatever. They are the easiest boss, and we can go into this in either direction fairly confidently. So I'm going to go with the upgrade in this case. I think if it was either of the other 2 bosses, Soulfish or the Ink guy whose name I'm forgetting, starts with a V. Those 2 I probably would have rusted against, honestly, just because they tend to be a longer fight. The kin here, he's only got 200 hit points, and because we're doing AoE, I don't care about his minions that much. They're naturally going to die here pretty easily. And again, we've got that really nice, powerful Radiate. We've got the nice Neutron Aegis, which goes a long way. And I thought about like just wearing them down equally, and maybe the math would have worked out there. I maybe should have double checked that. But taking a little bit less damage here seemed to make more sense. Finally going to get the Child of the Stars down. I have to slow down when I play that card because I have Game Piece, and I keep forgetting about that. Particle Wall doing work for us. We could have played it again and almost killed the guy in the front, but no need. He's buffing this turn. Mercury Hourglass also kind of pairing pretty well with what we're doing here. That chip damage across that and the Buzzsaw here and everything else that we're doing, Radiate, etc. Pretty good combo. I'm like kind of digging it. And you know, the only thing that I'm missing right now is a Star Dump. So should I have taken the Star Dump? Maybe, but it's not really useful for the shorter fights. So it's a question of balance. And right now, we're pretty effectively handling this guy, especially with how much plated we have. So I'm still not scared. I think we're down, 11 hit points from the start of the fight. And even though he's slowly scaling, that's exactly what it is. Very slowly scaling. So no major concerns here. We're basically still full blocking. I guess we're going to take one more damage. And I think we're about to get out of it. We can actually just particle wall him to death with 19 star power, but we don't need to. So yeah, I guess that's our star dump. We're offered Monarch's Gaze, Arsenal, and Void Form. Now I've done Void Form a lot. The problem I'm having with all of these cards is how expensive they are. And Arsenal obviously does nothing. But playing a 3-cost power is very difficult. There is an upgrade. Monarch's Gaze upgrades to 2 energy. Void Form upgrades to not being ethereal, I think. Right? I'm pretty sure. It doesn't matter, but that's what I'm pretty sure it is. And yeah, I think that would help a lot to be able to play that, especially because I'm going to draw a card every time I play it. So it actually makes Game Piece worse on only 3 energy. Now, we're not offered anything particularly useful. We do have the Pumpkin Candle, which I'm not sure I've actually taken. I really hate the idea of a temporary relic, a wax relic or whatever they call it. I'm not digging it. So we're going to remove 4 strikes, which I generally think is going to make my deck way stronger. We're going to get to play more star cards. We can take some more star cards now because now the deck is down to 16 cards. And I also am aiming for a thinner deck. Now this is a great fight for us. They're generally pretty easy for us because of all the AoE that we're going to be doing here if we get the cards that we need. And we're able to play Neutron Aegis on turn 1, which is pretty OP. I definitely didn't think about it and pulled the Shining Star back into my hand, which is honestly fine. And we definitely got to get that down, the Black Hole, because that's going to be how we do damage for the rest of this fight. Now, a little annoying that sometimes you get Radiate with no star gaining power, but it not only is it going to happen, but it's honestly fine. And now all we care about is just, doing Black Hole damage. So at this point, these guys are pretty much dead already because of both Mercury Hourglass and Black Hole. We can move on with another Glow, seems good. Gather Light seems good. Both of these are fine. I like Glow a little bit better because it can potentially draw into Radiate, which is a 0-cost card, and no star cost, so that's really nice. We get the Zen Weaver, which is, I would argue, a bad event. I suppose the remove is efficient after you've already removed once at the shop, but otherwise it's kind of an expensive remove. So I'm not a huge fan of it, but we're going to stick with it because it's better than the alternative, and I'd rather remove and defend. We get an Amethyst Aubergine, which is cool. We'll take it, a little extra gold after every fight. Notably, if you get it in an elite fight, even if you click it before the elite fight, click the other rewards, you don't get any more gold, unfortunately, but other than that, it's a great card. Monarch's Gaze coming in hot and unable to be played as is tradition, and I'm not sure how often we'll even be able to play it in this particular game. It is unfortunate. It would work out well with maybe it would work out with Distilled Chaos potentially, but also the Potion of Insanity or Touch of Insanity where you get to make a card free. But that also works with star power, and I did recently get a YouTube comment that I appreciated asking about, hey, what do you think about Particle Wall with Touch of Insanity or Potion of Insanity where it makes a card free? Does it work? And I said, I don't know. That seems like a great idea. Specifically paired with that card that, what is it called? I don't remember. But it costs 0, and every time you play 3 skills, you get it back in your hand, and it does 8 damage. Or 6 damage, doesn't matter. So, yeah, confirmed, that works. If you get Particle Wall and Touch of Insanity, you can play it 100 times. I did it in one of my losing runs, unfortunately, but it did work. And the problem was I didn't have that other card, Make It So. Make It So is the card name that allows you to just be infinite with damage and block on a single turn, obviously, where you played the potion. So, unfortunate that I lost that game. I would have loved to have showcased that, especially to show the guy that was asking the question. But yeah, that's a very powerful synergy that you can do with Regent and that combo. Still, it also works with Black Hole. If you have Black Hole in hand, it's the same thing where every time you play it, you're going to do 4 damage per Black Hole or upgraded Black Hole to all enemies. So that's another way to kill everything. We get the Symbiote, which I'm definitely taking here. Corrupted, deal 50% more damage but lose 2 HP. That is a 100% going on Radiate. And it's a big upgrade now where we're going to go from 4 damage to 6 damage per hit. And that's going to be like our damage engine for the rest of the game. It's been going fine, right? Doing 3. But as the enemies have scaled, this is now my scaling. And this is an enemy that I typically am terrified of, but in this particular instance, much less scared of. Now, we are going to take some definite damage here on turn 1, but we're chipping away very quickly. Mercury Hourglass is doing work already up to 18 damage on turn 2 across all of these guys. And if we can just get a Radiate with a couple of star-generating cards, as we do, these guys are dead. This is great. This is exactly what we were hoping to do. And by the way, that upgrade is what made us kill it. All of them. We're offered another Child of the Stars. Not sure I want 2 of those. Crescent Spear is a consideration, but I decide that it's not actually what we're doing. So right now, if I got that card, yes, it would give me block, but I don't have that many star cards, so it's not that strong of a card. I'd rather just draw more cards that generate star power and also draw my Radiate more frequently. The only card here that I don't have that I think would be worth considering is a common card. That is Cosmic Indifference. And that would help with bringing the Radiate back. However, there's half the time when you get through, you're playing through the deck that it doesn't help and doesn't do anything. But yeah, it's an interesting consideration that we might want to consider in the future. Now, we do have Radiate here, but we also have Toxics. The good news is we're blocking for 1,000,000, so we could either full block and not play Toxic and get another star power down, which seems pretty good. But we also exhaust them when we play them. So it is actually a kind of hard decision here. I am going to play 1. Our Radiate doesn't do anything this turn because we didn't gain any star power, and you can see we're at 0. So yeah, that's unfortunate. And this is not a good turn for us. We are unable to play Particle Wall. We did gain 1 star, not enough. And thankfully, though, Neutron Aegis and our new, what is it called? The Water Basin, whatever, gives us 4 block anytime we don't play an attack. And we just need some patience in this fight because we will eventually get enough star power to kill everything. So we will take a couple damage every time we play Radiate, but well worth it to get out of that fight, and more skippage going on here. Again, Photon Cut, kind of interesting, but kind of not. It's a weird card where you tend to not make any progress by playing it, I find. So I'm not too interested in taking it. There's a Cosmic Indifference. There's a couple of cards here that are kind of interesting. Heavenly Drill is not really what we're doing. We're not generating that much extra energy. So we're actually just going to remove another Defend and maybe take a Potion. Oh yeah, and Gather Light. Gather Light's good too. That gives us 1 more block card. The reason I took the Gather Light was basically I traded a Defend for it, and maybe I shouldn't have bought it, but it was only 25 gold and I didn't have that much gold left anyway. and we were able to buy everything that we wanted to. So I went with it. Let's say the Amethyst Aubergine paid for it. How about that? I will point out that you saw, and I haven't talked about it at all, I took Pale Blue Dot. Not that good. Not too happy with it. Not performing well. And I thought I had enough zero-cost cards where it would make it worth it. And maybe it does on occasion. But again, it's not really what we're doing with this build. And it doesn't feel like it's adding anything. The only positive to it is by playing it, I do draw a card. So it's kind of a one-cost draw one card, thanks to the game piece relic. But it's just not that good. I don't feel the benefit of it. And maybe I'm missing it. Honestly, maybe I drew more cards with this run than I realized. But because I have glow and other things to draw cards, well, mainly it's glow, I guess, and playing powers, I didn't feel it, which seems kind of silly to say, but that's true. Interesting, though, that we have 10 star power, now 12, and no real way to make use of it. Now, Particle Wall would have been great here, but it doesn't matter. We're going to get through this fight without any more damage taken, and we get Fruit Juice, which I really want, and that's unfortunate. We're offered a Resonance, Begone, and Pale Blue Dot. So Begone Plus is not great. It's a common, but I thought about it just to thin the deck more as I play, but you have to play it for that. And so I went with Resonance because at least that costs stars and it allows for removing strength of the enemy, which is really nice against multi-attacks. And depending on our final bosses, including this boss for Act 2, who does have 2 attacking pincers, strength removal is just very strong here. So as an example, here we might as well play it because we also gain strength. And that is the other side of that card that pairs really nicely with Radiate. Because it's AoE and it's doing a multi-attack for us. So like best of both worlds. And because we keep running out of star power, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, let's play it. Now this fight, once we get our stuff going, not scary at all. But this particular turn, surprisingly scary. It's just like, oh, well, this kind of sucks. Once the minions are spawned here, there's a lot of damage incoming, but I'm confident that I can deal with it. Now, with Particle Wall, most definitely I can. We can play that a whole bunch of times. In fact, we could play all these cards happily. And I think I was struggling with math here for some reason. And I may attack the minions, which is most definitely a mistake. I don't think I was considering the strength gain from Radiate. Well, from the Resonance earlier on Radiate. So already, like, they're already dead if I just played the cards. In fact, see, I didn't even have to play Radiate. So missed play for sure. Not a big deal. I don't think we take much damage for the rest of this fight, if any. One thing I did talk about Big Hug, by the way, is every time you shuffle your draw pile, you get a soot. Now, on any short fight, not that big a deal, but can be a big deal on boss fights, and especially like the Act 3 boss fight, which can be a long drawn out fight. And even this particular Act 2, well, all the Act 2 bosses can take a while, now that I'm thinking about it. So that's a little concerning. Maybe Begone would make sense there, but I'd actually rather other cards like, what is it, Charge to remove cards? Now, here I'm offered a Terraforming, which I'm thinking about this for Radiant. There's not a whole lot of other cards that I play that do damage directly. It's literally Shining Star, Falling Star, Shining Strike, Falling Star, and Radiate. So there's a high probability that anytime I get something that gives us Vigor, we can play it with the Radiate. Now I end up taking the Neutron Aegis because the nice thing about Neutron Aegis is they stack. But I'm also now I actually get to play that card for the first time ever. I'm using a lot of star power now. So all of a sudden, the second Neutron Aegis makes it very much slower to generate star power. And here's a turn where I'm like, you know what? We're going to have to eat it. We're going to play Monarch's Gaze in this fight. We're going to see how it performs. Yes, I'm taking a bunch, but I also have Weak Pot, which on this turn is great because it's going to actually block the big attack that he's got in 2 turns. So that's fine. That was the intent of getting that weak pot to begin with. And we blocked for a lot with neutron ages. So it ends up being fine. But you can already see, like, I'm out of star power again. But that's okay. That's okay. That's going to... ultimately, it will resolve itself. Now, the only issue with this build now that I'm seeing is I can't turn. I don't have enough attacks to turn. But this is the only fight that it matters. And honestly, with Monarch's Gaze and the Neutron Aegis, we're in pretty good shape here. I'm realizing I don't think I did take that Neutron Aegis, did I? I took the Terraforming. So, whoops, talking about that. I think I take a Neutron Aegis later in the fight. Spoiler. My bad. So, Hidden Cache here, really nice. Now we can start getting that star power up. And that's, again, as always, going to work out very well with Particle Wall. I decided to save the stars for a future Particle Wall, potentially, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to kill these guys before I get to the next the next big attack from the claw on the right. And I'm actually facing the right way, but here we're starting to see Monarch's Gaze pairing really well with what we're doing. They lose 5 strength this turn, and now we're just way over blocking. We feel safe here, in fact, which is surprising. Along with that, we have a lot of stars, so Resonance is going to get played more. All of this is kind of starting to work out. I do need to turn, and I can turn this turn. Yeah. To the guy on the right. We can also keep removing strength here with some more attacks. So Glow into Radiate is probably the play. Well, actually, no. I agree with what I did there. The Gather Light for the full block for sure, instead of having to spend time doing math. Same effect. It's all good. Got plenty of star power. And with this, yeah, the fight's over. Particle Wall will actually take him out if I start thinking about it. Wait. Yeah, no, it doesn't because of that. Close. I guess if I attacked the other guy, it would have worked out. No, it wouldn't. No matter what, one of them would have got 99 armor. We're offered a Crash Landing, which does work with Regalite, I will admit. So that was a thought for a moment, but it bricks our deck for what we're doing. Arsenal, no good. So we are going to take the second Neutron Aegis here. And here we go. Nonu Peipi. Serendipity Incarnate. We get a fur coat, signet ring, or jewelry box. Honestly, all of them are good here. I am totally cool with Apotheosis. Seems good. We get a free upgrade of everything, which would be pretty strong. Probably, if I think about this pretty objectively, I think that was probably the best pick. However, I go with Fur Coat just because I don't think I've taken it yet. Or maybe I took it once and I was like, yeah, let's try to get those 2 elites dead so we can get our sword here set up. And what's nice is Mercury Hourglass makes those fights literally free no matter what happens. Unless we happen to go against a enemy that comes with armor on turn 1. I don't know if there's any of those that exist in the game outside of the Gatling gun guy with the shield bearer in front of him. I think they would survive. The Gatling gun guy might survive that, but then the second turn he would be dead, obviously. So interesting. I didn't think about that. Anyway, that doesn't happen this game. We don't get to find that out. So instead, we're going up against the Cultist, which is always a fight that. Which, by the way, he has a Stonecracker in his hand. I just realized. That's one of the relics that gives you 2 upgraded cards every combat, randomly. So that's kind of cool. And I'm not sure what's on his back, either. Are those Burdanus beaks? What's going on here? Huh. Is Burdanus related to the Cultists? They have different beaks, though, don't they? I wonder. Anyway. This can be a scary fight. Every time I go into this, I'm like, oh man, they scale so quick. It's an interesting scale check. I don't think I've died to this fight yet, but I can definitely see builds where it could happen. And in fact, I had a game that I won that didn't get uploaded. It was the Silent Ascension 8 run that I won prior to this one. And you might say, well, why wouldn't you upload that? I tell you, it was the most boring game I've looked at after the fact. It was a struggle to get through start to finish, but we won. So, like, seems cool, but it was a struggle. And when I started, like, watching it after and giving it some commentary, I got bored commentating it. So anytime that happens, you don't have to worry about that. I'm only going to commentate games that I think are worth sharing and are fun. So you got that to look forward to. We get a fencing manual, which is, I don't know. I mean, it's okay, actually. It gives us, like, a just in case. Oh, there we go. Mercury Hourglass taking out the biting scrolls. And we get a quick potion. And this was a very real consideration. Kingly Punch. Because we're going through the deck so quickly, we're going to draw it somewhat frequently. Conversions also with the energy and retain and all that seemed like a potential. But I end up deciding against all of that. We're offered Happy Flower and Bread in the shop. Both good. I need energy. I need more energy. And since I just got Venerable Tea Set, I feel pretty confident that with basically 2 fights that I have 1 energy on turn 1, where I'm not immediately following a campfire, this is going to help us a lot more than Happy Flower would, because the Venerable Tea Set is going to make sure that we start every combat with 3 energy, which is normal for us, right? And the bread's going to let us play some of the powers we haven't been able to play. Also, it's going to make our Radiates stronger on average, because there's often cards that we don't get to play alongside it. So this is a tough one, right? Like, what do you do here? And the answer is you got to go for the AoE play, Black Hole. So this is probably the scariest fight that I'm going to do here. Might have been worth playing Falling Star. I think I was considering Neutron Aegis happening, though, which does. So, and already I'm like, oh, it's kind of nice. It is kind of nice having that extra energy. So we're going to go with Neutron Aegis. I played the Pale Blue Dot to maybe grab the upgraded version. It would have actually worked out in hindsight, there it is, to play it the other way and play the Neutron Aegis, which then would have let me play the Gather Light. That's the safer play. In hindsight, that was probably the right play, because if I didn't get it, like, I can't play it anyway. So I'm not sure. It could have worked out, but it was a high gamble to get 1 in 15 cards to draw correctly. So a little mistake there. It happens. And this turn looks a little rough for us, but between Child of the Stars and Neutron Aegis, even the unupgraded one, we will mitigate a lot of damage. We'll also still take 16, so that is a lot. But at this point, we're pretty safe. We've got our glows here. We've got a lot of star usage, and again, that extra energy goes a long way. That goes from being able to do 12 to being able to do 14, and we get the Neutron Aegis here. Also, Neutron Aegis, by playing it after Child of the Stars, blocks for a ton, an absolute ton. And you can see I'm debating, do I play Falling Star to weaken or vulnerable one, because it won't weaken because of the artifact. And it's like, no. Neutron Aegis blocks for 26 this turn. And now all of a sudden that 22 and 22, full blocked. Also, the water basin overblocked for me. So no concern at all. Now we finally get that Radiate turn. It's going to let us do almost a 4Xer, but no. Instead, I'm not sure what I'm waiting for here. I could have just killed them right there. There's nothing that matters to wait on. I guess I wanted to kill with Sovereign Blade. Now, we do get offered a Reflect, which is kind of useful, but we're going to skip that. That's just not it's not our primary damage source, and I think we've got enough blocks with the Gather Light, so that just becomes one more card to trip us up. Joss Paper, anytime that we exhaust 5 cards, we draw a card. That's going to primarily happen through Dazes, because we're not exhausting a whole lot. And we're going to try to fight an Elite here, because we've got a Campfire right after, and it's the Big Scary Eyeball, which is kind of scary for me. So Flex Pot, faux show, and if we can get him vulnerable, then get some big damage down now. Shining Star is kind of nice. Resonance is helpful for the multi-attack for the next turn. And we get a little Irradiate that only does 95 damage. We'll take it. All of a sudden, he's not as scary. However, we're still taking 19 on turn 1, and that is kind of terrifying. So big questions here. Child of the Stars is really good. It's going to let us draw a card too. Gather Light is important though, so we're going to get that down. Monarch's Gaze is important. if I play Shining Strike and then Child of the Stars, I could have played Shining Strike again, but I opt for the defend. We take a little bit more, and I need just enough to get Neutron Aegis plus down. Definitely a turn where I'm like, man, maybe I should have played Monarch Gaze, but with the draw that we get from the game piece, we're actually getting through the deck pretty safely here. And now we can play Neutron Aegis, which again is going to block for 26 in total. So we full block with the Water Basin, and it ends up not being as scary as it looks. It's interesting though, right? Isn't it? Where each turn looks way scarier than it actually is. You just have to have some patience and trust in the deck that you've built, and know how it works. Pilot it correctly, and you'll be all right. So at this point, I'm pretty much out of this fight. We've got a lot of damage incoming potentially, but I can definitely do 42 or 78 damage depending on what I draw here. Right now, we don't have a flex pot anymore, so that is a little bit scary. But we have 2 strength. We have a lot of stars that we're gaining. We can gain a lot of block with Neutron Aegis, and we could play Radiate for what ends up being only 24 because I'm weakened. But better than nothing, and we block for a lot. Certainly Monarch's Gaze would have maybe helped a little bit here. But yeah, we're going to get out of this just fine. Just thinking about what's future in the deck here, but then I realized I think Sovereign Blade just kills no matter what happens. So we're good. We get out of this. Good fight, scary fight, a little close. We get a bag of marbles. Offered a monologue as well, which I thought about, and a charge. I really like charge here, but it's hard to play. It's just more energy that we're not really able to spend. So yeah, scary fight. We move on. We get a couple of chests, well, not a couple. We get a chest after the bag of marbles, which is the rainbow ring. So bag of marbles is turn 1. They're vulnerable, which is cool. We're offered a black hole plus here. That's kind of nice. Rainbow Ring gives you one strength and 1 dex every time you play one of each skill, attack, and power in the same turn. We will do that sometimes, not super frequently. Now we're up against the Toad Rider here. This is a potentially scary fight, but we get Neutron Aegis turn 1, and we're blocking for almost full block. No, actually we are, because again, the Water Basin thing. I keep forgetting what it's called. Black Hole's going to draw some cards. We can play Gather Light. We can play Defend. And this will be a turn where we do take some damage, but not much. Only 1. Again, not playing any attacks has its benefits here. So here's one where we can play a skill, a power, and an attack. However, I kind of messed that up, and I opt for not losing 2 health to do like 8 damage, or none because he had plated armor. So we'll hope for a better turn than that. Child of the Stars is going to let us play more skills, but we really want to draw into, if anything, Radiate there, so we can get some of that strength and dex I was talking about. Not going to happen this turn. We may get it. We could get it this turn, potentially. Actually, no. We're going to be short 1 star. My bad. But we can play Terraforming, and the next Radiate is going to be a big hit. However, we're really in trouble here, so we're actually going to use the potion, which I wanted to save for the boss fight. But Shining Star is going to give us enough to get a second Neutron Aegis down, and that'll give us the full block, which I think was worth the amount of health I was going to lose if I didn't play that. It was on the order of like 20 health, so probably worthwhile. I'm not sure I could save much more than that even in the boss fight. And now we're pretty safe here. We do definitely want to try to kill him this turn. Even though we have Neutron Aegis, that's great, but kind of scary. And our Buzzsaw build is doing 8 per turn now, by the way. Spoils of Battle. Gonna take it. Forge 8, draw 2. I like the draw, and it gives us a little back-end hidden scaling in a long fight coming up with the boss here. So I think it was a good play. It may seem different than what we're doing, but the draw 2 is quite good in potentially getting us into, Radiate again, especially if we've played Monarch Gaze. Now, really nice turn 1. We do half his health in the first turn. We get our black hole down. We can play Glow or Venerate. Venerate will let us play Neutron Star or Neutron Aegis, sorry, which will also draw a card. Why did I not play that? I'm not actually sure. That seems like... Oh, I remember now. There was a thought here of saving the star power for Neutron Aegis Plus. I don't know. I'm curious. What do you think? Was that a good play or not? Now, we're already blocking for a lot here, and we full block, basically, and did 24 damage by playing Particle Wall. We take 2. But I end up not being able to play Radiant or Neutron Aegis by making those plays anyway. And I do have enough star power where I'm going to be able to play it this turn, and I'm going to kill him. So there's that. But just from playing star cards. But I wonder, do you think that was the right play? I think it was. I think I had high probability to draw it. It was bottom deck, complete bottom deck. So it is what it is. But yeah. Also, very important here. Shining Strike first, because now that he's dead, I wouldn't otherwise get enough to play the Neutron Aegis. But oh, by the way, I don't have enough to play the Neutron Aegis. Dang it! More mistakes made. Didn't actually. I'm not sure there was a mistake. It didn't matter. And I draw into the unupgraded one. I'm like, okay, fine. I will play it now. This is the scary phase. This is the phase where he scales incredibly quickly. And he does 10 by 3, 10 by 4, 10 by 5, etc., etc. And we got to get Monarch's Gaze down. Even if we're not able to do a whole lot of damage. Ooh, and we get Neutron Aegis, which stops us from being able to play Particle Wall. But that's okay because we had Child of the Stars. So a lot of stuff going on in this fight. And generally a terrifying fight. However, look at this. We got a lot of star generation here. And we can potentially draw into more. I don't know if that matters. It does kind of matter because it does scale up our Sovereign Blade, and we might want to play something different besides Hidden Cache. Resonance is good because it's permanent strength removal. So we have the same strength removal here by playing that combination, and we barely full block. That was an amazing turn, actually. And now I'm scared because I'm like, okay, am I dead? Because now he's doing 9 by 6. I'm like, no, we can lower this quite a bit. We're blocking for quite a bit. And we got Particle Wall. So no matter what... oh, no, we don't have enough to kill him with Particle Wall. But we have Sovereign Blade. So we can definitely take him out here. The question is, do I want to go into Phase 3 right now? And the answer is, I think so. Because... there's no guarantee. I didn't think there was a guarantee that I could kill him next turn, necessarily. But now I'm realizing, wait a sec, with Mercury Hourglass, I am going to do enough damage. He's definitely dead this turn. I only need 1 card. 1 card? 2 cards. I don't need any cards. I have Sovereign Blade. So, yeah, 10 by 7, though, terrifying. This is by far the scariest phase of any boss IMO. They really ramped this guy up in difficulty with some reworks here. And I don't even know what he does in Ascension 9 yet. Is it 11 by 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 versus 10? That extra damage can really take us out. So, a couple things to note here. Number 1, he's intangible, I think, every other turn. And number 2, his strength resets. So the strength removal that I did earlier, no longer present. And yeah, it's part of it. Another thing to notice is I have 6 strength myself now, and our plating is still pretty strong at 13. That's the beauty of plated. I know plated doesn't seem as good as what it was in Spire 1 to any of you who are fans of plated armor there, where you only lose it when you take direct damage. But it's pretty good when you can compound it like this and just add to it, and it lasts for a million turns. We're on turn 12, by the way. So we do replay Resonance, which also gives us block that doesn't matter at all this turn. And we're going to remove some strength for the rest of the fight from him with that. Monarch's Gaze, if I didn't talk about it earlier, is temporary. It's only for within the turn. And he's doing 11 by 3 here, which again, pretty scary. But I think I can take the strength down enough. I have a lot of attacks here, which is nice. So number one, I can weaken him, and number two, I can play Shining Strike multiple times with that glow combo that we were talking about earlier. And we can make sure we've got a lot of star power going into what have to be the final turns here, because one of us are going to die based on the amount of health and the scaling that we're both doing. I have 8 strength now. And this is a scary turn, actually. I'm mildly concerned that this could be it. But again, between all the block and especially that plating won the game for sure. We're down to 7 hit points. For sure we wouldn't win on Ascension 10 here with that amount of health, not without Panagraph or something going into another boss fight, I don't think. But yeah, good turn. Good fight. We're going to take him out with Sovereign Blade, Radiate, Resonance, and or Particle Wall. Particle Wall, we have 23 stars, so we can kill him right now just by... I think we could have killed him from the beginning of the turn just by playing Particle Wall. It would have been 8 times 20. No, 8 times 10, I guess. So, good game. Good fight. It was a close one. Down to 5 health after that Radiate almost killed me. Good thing we weren't at 2. It would have killed me. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next one. GG.